Okay, so the first part of my foundation routine is to conceal. So I'm using this NYX Above and Beyond. Let me give you a second to let that focus. Okay, so I want to take this with a concealer brush and first go and highlight my brows. I have a video on how I do my brows and I will link it below. But first I go under my brows and just highlight. And the color of this concealer is Nutmeg. I really like this stuff. I like to use a concealer that I can dip a brush in for this portion. But you could probably use your hands too. I use my hands on some of my makeup applications because I do find that it does give you a nice it does blend well sometimes to use your fingers, but the only drawback is that it's so messy to me. Okay, so I take that concealer and come down each side of my nose and also conceal the area around my upper lip and around my nostrils, because I find that sometimes this area can be pretty red. So I go in the inner corners of my eye with the concealer and drag it down the side of my nose. Okay, and then drag it out underneath my eye. Then I go, if you can see, I have a little discoloration underneath my chin, and so I go in with the concealer for that as well. I honestly have no idea where that came from. I just think it's just, you know, the bend of my chin that's just causing that, because I haven't had like any injuries or even any acne in that area. It's just really weird and discolored. Of course, I started, which I forgot to mention before I got started with freshly washed and moisturized skin. Okay, so I got that brow. All right, then I go in with a this e.l.f. brush. It's a, what is it called? It doesn't have, usually they put what the brush is for on this brush, but this one I think it's called it's like a concealer perfecting brush or whatever, something like that, the name like that, ultimate concealer brush. But after I get that concealer on, I go in with this brush and blend it out. So I go back to all the areas that I just put concealer on and blend it out with this brush. Get rid of all those harsh lines. Come back around my nose. Make it look really nice. And also go in with the concealer on my eyelids as well. And this routine is pretty much what I do every single day. Because I really, on my everyday makeup look does not include eyeshadow. I do, however, put powder on my eyes so that my lids won't crease and so that they will blend nicely with my foundation. and so they won't look all shiny and or greasy. So after that, I go in with a setting powder, which is this, and please don't go on with this Ruby Kisses HD Set and Forget powder, and with this same brush. So I go in and just dip a little bit, just get a little bit on my brush, and then go and dust my eyelids with it. Again, this routine is when I am not wearing eyeshadow. When I am wearing eyeshadow, I do put concealer, and I'll use a color on my lid, but it'll be a color of whatever, you know, my eyeshadow look is going for. So I go and set my lids, and I just love the way my lids look, you know, once my makeup is, you know, how it blends nicely with my makeup and doesn't look, you know, oily or shiny. So I just go in, load up my brush, and blend that out. And I find that the concealer is a really nice base to for the setting powder to adhere to. And so that is how I do my lids. After that, I will go and prime my face with Milk of Magnesia. I know that a lot of people are like, well, why did you just conceal and you're gonna prime your face? But I really feel that this helps the concealer to stay put and to not crease. So I go in, shake it up a little bit, go in with my Milk of Magnesia and prime my face with a stippling brush. So I just kind of take the cap, dip the brush in, and go in on each side of my cheek, on my cheeks. Just kind of, I put a nice even layer on. I don't go too crazy with it, but I do make sure that, you know, I'm getting every area of my face, especially areas that tend to get a little oily for me. Of course, my nose, that includes my T-zone. I go up in between my brows, my forehead, then I take and fan it dry. After that, I will go in with my foundation, and my current foundation I'm using right now is a Black Radiance oil-free foundation. Like, my label is totally worn out. That's how much I use it. I'm using the Black Radiance oil-free foundation in the color Brownie. The number is 8414, and I love this stuff. It's really, really amazing for full coverage. If you're looking for a full coverage foundation, to me, I just love it. It never looks oily for me. It's just a really good foundation and very affordable too. I found this at Walmart, and so I put a little bit of that on my hand, and then I go in with my e.l.f. brush. This is the ultimate blending brush, and I can say, I can vouch, this is the ultimate blending brush. And then I take and spray a little makeup mist and set on the brush just to dampen it up, and it just helps my foundation to go on a little smoother. So I take it, dab it, and then go in and just kind of buff the foundation onto my face, going up my sideburns. Just, I like to put the foundation on my hand because it just kind of helps me distribute the foundation on my face a little better. I'm just buffing this in, going up the sides of my nose, up the bridge of my nose, buffing that in. I really love these types of fluffy brushes, these blending brushes. They really are the best, and I really feel like it really helps with application. So I'm going up on my forehead, around my brows, just kind of smoothing that out. I kind of pinch my brush when I go around my temples so I don't get so much, you know, makeup on my brows and in my hair. Kind of squeeze that brush when I go around that area, and I come up between my brows, squeezing the brush again so that I don't get any foundation on my brows. I'm kind of going with went with a more scruffy type look, more natural look with my brows today, and I have to say, like, I am loving it. I think that lately I have been seeing people more and more, you know, people who wear makeup go toward the more natural looking brow. I think that's gonna be the trend for the next couple years. You know, brows that don't look so, you know, straight across the top. But yeah, I'm loving my brow look today. I think I'm going to update my brow routine, so you just be on the lookout for that. So after that, I will go in with my highlighter, my highlight. And I use LA Girl Pro Conceal. I have two colors that I use. If I'm going for like more of a cooler tone look, like cooler tone eyeshadow or something like that, I'll go with the color Toffee. And for something a little bit more warmer, I will use Fawn. Today I am going to use Fawn. I have worn that thing out. Look, it's so flat. I usually like squeeze it out onto my face using the, you know, brush applicator tip, but today I'm going to squeeze it onto my hand because it is getting so low and it is drying out. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit onto my hand. Ooh, I think I put too much, y'all. Oh my gosh. Anyway, again, I want to go in with that same brush. Okay, spray it with some mist and set. And then dab that onto my brush and go in and highlight. Under my eye. Same thing over here. I'm gonna go dab a little bit on this side because I really loaded that brush up. So you only need a little bit of this stuff. Kind of go up on the sides of my nose a little bit. And what I like to do is go up, blend up, and then come in a circular motion and then come back down. That's what I like to do. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in, get a little bit more. Same thing over here. I have done this with a beauty blender, but it just I think it does a pretty good job. But my thing with the beauty blenders is like, it just gets so dirty. It's really hard to I don't know, maybe I'm just doing too much with it, but I feel like my hands always get dirty every time I use the beauty blender, the tips of my fingers, and I just can't stand that. I can't stand it. That's why I have kind of stopped using the beauty blenders. Maybe I'll come back around to it, because I mean, you know, all the beauty blenders, you know, you kind of cycle on and off with this new stuff. But I just can't stand it. Like, I can't stand, like, when I'm doing, you know, my makeup and my hands just get all nasty. It's just like, oh, I can't stand it. But anyways, but it's like a double-edged sword though, because you know, it's your fingers and, you know, items like the beauty blender do blend really well. So after that, I'm so now I have kind of blended out here. I'm just gonna distribute. I'm trying not to you know, get too much makeup on my brush. I mean, too much, you know, highlight on my brush. I'm gonna take and squeeze the brush again and go down the bridge of my nose. So I just take that, do a few swipes, and that is that. So now I'm going to work on blending out my highlighter, getting rid of I can't talk today, getting rid of any harsh lines. Just really work that in. I think that the key to to most makeup is that you blend. You need to blend twice as long as you spend time applying. So there we are, still blending on my forehead. Of course, your forehead, so you do, you know, the high parts, your cheekbones, your chin, forehead, and then I come down the bridge of my nose with the highlight. Then I will go in with my contour. If I can find it, there we go. Okay, and so I'm also using a I'm using a concealer to do my contour as well. I'm using, and look, you can it's like so worn out. I'm using a concealer stick by Radiance in the color 8003 to contour. I love it because it's so easy. It's like a lipstick. You just twist it up, and then I'll go in the hollows of my cheek and swipe. Then I will go in on my forehead and do a few dabs of it going across, just kind of making some dots, and then right here. So in the temples, I kind of go in, and then on the hollows of my cheek, and then down the sides of my nose. Okay, and then I will kind of put a dab on each side. So down each side of my nose, down the bridge, and then kind of right here on the broad areas of my nose. And then I will go straight across at the tip of my nose. Okay, and then sometimes I will go in right here on the sides of my chin and put a couple dots right there to contour that area that area as well. And then I go in with a flat top brush, this narrow flat top brush, contour brush and go in and blend that out. So I start with the hollows in my cheek, just making, you know, strokes like this, and I'll kind of move up when I start getting toward this part. So I kind of just blend that out and then move up like that. Same thing over here. A few strokes just straight in the hollows and then move up like that. I used to blend this with my hand and it does a really good job. So if you don't have this brush, you can also go in with your hand and do a few strokes like that, and that really helps blend it out as well. But like I said, I was really loving it, but I was just so tired of my hands being nasty when I get done with my makeup. And also, just from a professional standpoint, I am a cosmetologist, and I just know how much your hands can hold germs, and that just kind of what made me shy. Even when you wash them, it just kind of made me shy away from you know, blending with my hand. Even if I just wash my hands, I just know. I work with people all day. I do waxing, manicures, pedicures, all that stuff, and so I have just gotten away from the whole blending with my hands, just because I just don't feel 100% comfortable with that. So as you just saw, I went across my forehead, okay, and then just blending it out. And if you notice, I just kind of drag, you know, I'll drag the brush away from the area that I just highlighted, and then I go in on the bridge of my nose, of course turning the brush vertically, and drag that contour down the sides of my nose. And look at that. It's just amazing what contouring can do. I love contouring because I just feel like it just really, it takes your makeup to the next level. I could definitely tell a big difference in my makeup, you know, before I started to venture into contouring. And it could be scary for some people, but I promise it is nowhere near as complicated as people like to make it seem. And then when I get done with that, I always go back with my highlight brush and just buff out my forehead again, so I just don't have that perfect little circle right there in the front of my forehead. So I'm going to set my highlight with another HD Set and Forget powder, and this color is Banana. So what I do is just dab my brush in, and I don't pick up a whole lot, because that stuff, it will, it'll make your highlight go way left, and this is my everyday look, so I'm like, I ain't going for all that. So I'll dip it in the powder, and then take the top and, you know, kind of distribute it, use it to distribute it on the brush, and then give it a little tap. And see, I don't even have a whole lot on there, so I'll go in and do that up underneath my eye. Working my way up and back, down and around. Take and don't even put any more in the cap. Just go in the cap, spin my brush around, and do the same thing. And then on my chin as well. And right here, I'll take the rest, anything left, and go right here. I usually do a little bit on my forehead, but not down my nose, because I like to use a bronzer. So after I highlight my after I set my highlight with the banana powder, I will go in with another Black Radiance product. It's a Black Radiance pressed powder. You can, as you can tell, I use this quite a bit. I've hit pan right in the center of it. It is in the color Rich Mahogany, and I go in with a fluffy angled brush and just kind of dab in there a little bit. I've already put a little bit on because I had to, because my camera cut off on me. But I will go in. I really like this powder because it's kind of got some red tones and it warms my contour up. So I'll just do that, and it kind of go in this into this area where my temple contour temple area meets my highlight area, because sometimes there can be a line there. So I just kind of blend that area so there won't be a line there. Just kind of circular motion, just blend it out. Like I said, it really is all about blending. You have to blend your makeup. Blend it, blend it, blend it. Spend double, triple the time blending as you do applying. And then same thing on this side. Just gonna go up, hold my brush in this area just a little bit, just and do circular motions, of course, in the hollows of your cheek. And then I will go on my forehead and do the same thing. I just kind of add the powder here, working across the contoured area. I like to dab in this area for some reason. Sometimes when I try to just do a brush stroke, it just kind of gives me this weird ashy look. So I just kind of, in this area, I just kind of, you know, dab a little powder on my brush and then go in the contoured areas of my forehead. And then last but not least, I will go in on the sides of my nose with the powder as well. Taking the same brush, just smushing it, making it narrow, smushing it down, and dusting the sides of my nose also with the pressed powder. Sides of my nose down to my nostril. Same thing over here, and then of course the tip of my nose. What I'm going to use for the to highlight my cheekbones, oh my gosh, can't find my words today, is also a Black Radiance product, and it is their artisan baked bronzer in the color Ginger Snap. So I take a big fluffy fan brush, which I just love. I just love this brush so much. And take it and, you know, move it back and forth in the highlighter and go on the high parts of my cheek and do that same movement and highlight my cheekbone. If you really a trick to this is, like, if you really want your highlight to pop too, you could spray some Fix Plus or Makeup Mist and Set like I do, and spray that on a brush before you highlight. So you I just go gently right there at the high point of my cheek and do this, you know, back and forth fan motion with my brush, and go in a circular motion on both sides. And then just a little bit in my forehead. And this time I turn the brush upside down because I don't want to mess up my I don't want to mess up my brows, child. They're very important. So I turn the brush upside down and just do a little on my forehead, not too much, child, because I got a big old forehead. And then I will take, and I'm about to do my nose. So I'm going to use this Ruby Kisses their blusher palette, and I'm going to be using this color right here to highlight my nose. So I just use my finger on this one. I dab it in there and I put it on the tip of my nose in a circular motion. I really like this method versus using a brush because you can really hone in to where you want that at. So I just go in a circular motion at the tip of my nose and then bring the rest of it up the bridge of my nose. So I take it, circle on the end, and then blend it up my nose. Okay. And for this look, I'm just gonna do a little gloss. I'm not gonna do too much with my lips this go round. I'm just gonna use a little gloss to finish off this look. And this is the MAC Viva Glam 6. It's just a glittery sheer gloss. I've had this for forever. I don't know, I probably have had this for at least 4 years. That should show you how much I do not wear sheer gloss. But this is so perfect for just your, you know, your everyday look where you just want something natural, something not too fussy. And also for those days when you spend too much time doing everything else on your makeup and then you get to your lips and then you like, I gotta go somewhere. Gotta be somewhere. So I just go in with that and let that end it all. And then once I finish everything, applying all my makeup and my lip gloss, of course I go in with this e.l.f. mist and set spray that I have talked about all throughout this video because I love this stuff. I'll go in with that, mist my face, and then fan it. And that, my good people, is how I do my foundation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. Girl, I want you to see this. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.